Hey, everyone. It is your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, and welcome to NNV's Photo Recap of 2024. I hope that everybody had a safe and wonderful New Year's. Looking at the news, we couldn't have 24 hours. We could not have 24 hours, and things are already crazy. But let's kind of like just set that aside. With the incoming new year, I always like to take a time to reflect on everything that has happened in the previous year, just to kind of see what could I do better, but also take a moment to reflect on my accomplishments and what I was able to do with what I got. And I wanted to take this moment to really highlight my successes in photography, in my photography journey as a whole. For those that don't know me, um, on top of having my own publication, I am a teacher. This school year makes it like 10 years of me at Friendship Public Charter School. And I originally took on photography, taught it to myself because there was a small group of students that really wanted to learn it. And at the time, in our journalism program, Friendship News Network, we could not hire a permanent photography teacher. Like, we would do a workshop here and there, but that person wasn't always available, and sometimes it wasn't in the budget to get somebody else. So so I took it on myself to teach myself photography and to just teach it to my students. A lot of times we were learning together in the early part of my teaching career, and now it has expanded to us having photo galleries on the website codefnn.com and having art exhibitions alongside with my visual arts colleague, Miss Abney. So to see all of those growths and see the growths in my students who are very talented. I just want to take a moment to just kind of show the opportunities that came along with learning photography. So, let me just go ahead and kind of show you my website. So if you're not familiar with my website, noirneonvibes.org. This is where all of my content resides, from our podcast, Neon Mike, Birds of Reason, then of course my newsletter and my photo blog. So through the photo blog, I'm just going to take you through everything that I have experienced in 2024. Let's see what I can start. Bear with me because this is a little further. I'm a little further away from my screen. So the first part of 2024, I was invited to a musician showcase at the arcade by Create Lady J. She was one of my earlier guests on Neon Mike, and at this time, I recently got a continuous light that was able to like change colors. So I was really excited to experiment with this. Before I go too much further, I probably should let you know what I'm working with. My standard camera, and I've been using this for a while, is the Canon EOS R10. It is a mirrorless camera. I've used it for photography, and I've used it for my in-person interviews on my podcast. I thoroughly enjoyed it and just appreciate how lightweight it is, because as you look at my frame, can't really carry anything too heavy. But I have taken some amazing shots on this thing, and I figured really quickly, let me let you guys know what camera I'm working with before we go too much further. But back to the photos. I was really excited to experiment with like different color lighting in this environment. There's just Create Lady J And oh yeah, this is one of my favorite shots because if you don't know who Create Lady J is, she is very aggro, an amazing rocker, part of the rap and alternative music scene. Um, she does have Aggro Fest along with Aoxys. So I really love this picture because this just captured her, just the rawness in her performance, the power in her performance. Like, oh my god, I just really like this one. And just to get the crowd's reaction, like really like vibing with her. I also had to be cautious because this is my first time being in an event like this. And when you're in like the rock element, it's you have mosh pits. You have people that are like really ugh, bumping into each other, thrashing, all of that. So I'm trying to get some awesome shots, but also make sure I don't get ran over. So that's fun. But I just really like it because you can just see her energy and like the power in her performance. I believe this is Mikey Polo. Let me look that up real quick before I miss his name because he's the one that organized the event. I got the invite by Create Lee J, but he's the one that organized it. So yes, it's Mikey Polo. Okay, I just make sure. He organized the event. I didn't stay long because as you can see, the nice haze effect that you see here, that's not photo edited. It was actually that smoky. And I could only like I was there for Create Lady J, so I made sure like I got her, and then when she performed, I dipped. But there were several amazing acts before her, and yeah, there's just like I'm amazed like how much raw talent we have in the DMV, and it doesn't get talked about enough. So I would like to use my platform to really highlight these amazing artists. And they had vendors, like some really great vendors there. I just like the energy of the room because everybody was so supportive of each other. Everybody wanted to network with everybody. Um, this was a great spot to showcase music, um, businesses that were either black owned or women owned. So yeah, this was like it was just a great vibe all around. And to capture this type of energy just made me really excited. And kind of re-spark my energy with photography. Now I do wish photo editing is still my Achilles heel, so I wish like I probably would have edited this one a little bit. But like I said, it's great vendors, great energy, the composition, the rawness of it. 007, who I managed to interview after meeting with them here. Uh 007 is like that's the person you gotta look out for. Like she's dope. She's fire, and I could definitely see like she's on a mission, and she's definitely gonna go somewhere. She did a great set. This is Cheeseburger. He's kind of all over the place. I don't think he's just limited to DMV. I think he's kind of like up and down the East Coast. He was a really great host. But you have people that was doing spoken word. You have people rapping, and then again meeting so many people that I would bump into later down the line. She was awesome too. She was another performer, and she has a look and the vibe of a superstar. So yeah, this was kind of one of the events that made me want to venture outside, because a lot of times when I started photography, it was mostly just friendship events or like some co-workers that would have me photograph whatever party they need me to, and I was kind of like I wanted to challenge myself and see what I can do outside of the friendship family. The next event is MagFest. I got invited to a co-worker, Kelso, who ran the esports team, and his goal was to get get the students to compete with like real hardcore gamers to make them better players. And he was like, one, I could help co-chaperone, and two, bring my student photographer to make sure like we captured everything for our publication and the yearbook. This is my first time knowing about MagFest. If you don't know what it is, MagFest is a music and video game convention that is at the Gaylord at National Harbor. This is my first time there. So on top of like chaperoning and supervising my student photographer, I also did a couple of interviews here and there, but it was a lot to take in with like the time frame that we were there. We were we were supposed to go 2 days, but because of the snow and the weather, we ended up just going one day. But of course, I'm going to get some of the cosplayers. I'm always impressed. Like, we have some really amazing cosplayers with some dope looks, so I'm always down to capture them. And then that's the white gentleman with the beard. That's Kelso. And then of course that's one of his players, Dontavius, who's now in my journalism program. Yeah, they were really locked in. And then of course there were some meetups. So my student photographer Maestro was very adamant, like, we need to go to these meetups and we're gonna get some pictures. And I was like, say less. I like this one. Like, you had a good solid group of friends that could coordinate like this. And of course, I love Cowboy Bebop. That's one of my favorite niche anime. I don't think it gets like talked about enough because it's just like so kind of outside of the Shonen Jump realm of anime, but it's just like I enjoy it. Got a Gambit, SpongeBob. Now I do wish like I edited so like you see how like I clearly used a flash and probably didn't want it to be as blown out. And then one of the things you have to be cognizant or like aware of as a photographer are where windows are. Now, granted, this young man is properly exposed, but like the blowout in the back is kind of like, eh. It was just, everybody is just so nice and people work so hard. Right there, right here, this is my student photographer, Maestro. He was very much adamant that, we go to these because I do like Hell of a Boss and the Has Been Hotel. Like, those are really good series. Like, if you haven't checked it out. And the cosplay paying homage to them was just top tier. Now here, I'm experimenting with panoramas because there was a large group here. I cannot remember what this panel was. I think I'm not sure what this panel was. It'll come to me. If it comes to me, I'll let you guys know. But it was a large group. I knew I wouldn't be able to get like everybody in a single shot, so I was like, let me just try panorama. It actually turned out pretty good. I do wish I may have like scoot back a little bit because I feel like I'm cutting people off on my right. Do you see it? That's one of the student players. They're a very like, if you're an educator, and I feel like we should make this more of a push, there are a lot of amazing things that you can do at conventions, even though it may be like comic book, video game, pop culture, or whatever. On top of them having fun and photographing with like their favorite character, or what have you, they were gamers. They were like people that have created their own games. You had other vendors, entrepreneurs there that the students can network with. At different conventions, they have like different entities that come in there that could be very educational. And you can put in for like your students to do a panel. Like, get them in front of people, practice public speaking, having those discussions and things like that. So there is a way to really combine schools and conventions together, and it's very eye-opening for them because I think most of them have never been to any type of convention before. So it's always fun to see their reaction when they go because you know it's so insane. Look at the furries. Furries get such a bad rap. They're adorable. And then, of course, I mentioned that this is a music convention as well. So you have talented musicians that were playing their favorite video game theme song. And then all these like supportive vendors who were like women owned, queer owned, black owned. They even had like salsa dancing. I love Spy Family so much. I wish I would have got more of her face. Like I do like I'm okay with like getting physically close and filling the screen, but I wish I would have got more of her face. And I like doing different angles too, because like shooting from low and then up does give like this strong power to the cosplayers and adds to the character. And like I said, black owned businesses were there as well. That's more of the esports team, you know, on deck at the tournament. I mean, they got washed, but you know, they got the experience. Okay, so this is something that I have to be mindful of when taking pictures because looking back on it, this person is slightly out of focus and is more focused on their product than them. And when you are at a low f-stop, granted it's giving you more light, but it's also it's like it's going to focus in on the closest object. And if you are even maybe one step back or if you're not on the same plane as that other item, like they're going to be blurred out some. So it's like this is something I have to like pay attention more. And I do enjoy seeing or like having the entrepreneur surrounded by their work and just kind of, you know, using that opening as a frame. Cute. This is very cute. Closeted Geek. This was my first encounter with Closeted Geek, and I got like the Akatsuki Letterman jacket and the Sailor Moon one. And I ended up getting like more stuff to them because they do pop up in the convention scene and they make some really good stuff. And I love their reusable bag. Use it for everything. Now for this group shot, I wish I would have shot from a different angle to make sure that I got everybody and maybe kind of gave them a little bit of a heads up. So, you know. And here I was trying to capture like the gamer and the projection on the screen. This was way too blown out. I should have edited this one. This person I had the pleasure of interviewing. They have this game, I forgot what it's called, but it was dealing with a whale. And it's not a competitive game. It's a game where you just learn about aquatic life. They had this giant whale. And that was such a great marketing scheme because that immediately caught my attention and that made me want to talk to them. People, you could like draw on a sticky note and post it on the whale. You draw whatever, or you could write like positive messages. I can't remember what I wrote, but like I thought this was so cool. It's not a great photo, but I just like the game Here Nah. If you're not familiar with it, it just talks about the microaggression of people trying to touch black hair. Like, don't do that. The game is also available online, but I would like this to be on the Switch. Using your flash is important. I just want to just highlight that because as you can see at this convention, it's dark in most places. There's a lot of low light, and if you want to capture something cool, you gotta use your flash. I wish I would have backed out more. I feel like the conversation's on, and I probably should have used my flash here. But yeah, that was fun. MagFest is a question mark right now. I'm trying to see my availability. But hopefully I do go again because I would like to talk to game developers and promote their indie games because there's a lot of cool niche things there. Let me go to So this isn't mine. I do have one of my contributors, Alex Santos, who's a former student of mine, and occasionally chips into the publication. He went to it was like the car show that usually happens between January and February, and I gave him my old camera and was like, "Yo, you want to take pictures?" And he was like, "Yeah," because he really enjoys cars. Um, Kazucon, this was a nice return because it's been a while since I've been to this convention. So I was excited to go back. I actually need to put in my press pass request for that. Actually, I'll do that after the stream. So there's Liz and Ro from Plus Ultra Entertainment and their One Piece cosplay. They're always fun. Y'all could tell me which one this is. This was at the HBCU cosplay meetup, and I love her Nick Fury. She ate that. Now, if I were to go back, because Lightroom recently did this update where like you can completely erase whatever distraction is in your shot, right? Usually in the past, like you can kind of tell like something was removed, like it was very warped and weird. They did the update. I could probably make it like he's not even there. Let me know if you want me to do like a live stream of working at an Adobe Lightroom, because I did it before. I wanted like other like personal photos because some people didn't need to be at the event, and I just boop erased them. That seems petty, but to be fair, I was asked to do that. Love this. This is very cute. Nice couple cosplay. The things that y'all could do with a 3D printer still gags me. Ugh. Gorgeous. I just wish I would have framed this a little bit differently and also gave more headroom for their headpiece. Awesome. I feel like I should have cropped it and just focused on these three right here. Maybe. There's a lot going on. Love that. The artistry. They had karaoke. I wanted to highlight they have karaoke, but I feel like this photo wasn't necessarily the best. Yes, Raven, concentrate. Now they also at Kazakhstan, like you can learn mahjong, and I've always like played on the game, so it was really cool that I was able to play it in person. I do have my own set, so if you like to play mahjong, I need 3 other people that can play mahjong. Again, I always enjoy highlighting entrepreneurs, and then here's at the main stage. I love how colorful their stage is. Thank God for their lighting. Just really dope, really amazing. And then again, panorama. I think when you have like such a large group like this, panorama. Just use the panorama mode. Try it a couple of times to make sure that you get everybody, but like that, it just comes in clutch. I just wish I was more centered, but you got to get to those spots early, Yes, Bunny. But yeah, that was Kazakhstan. I want to go again this year, possibly, but I probably want to go later, a little bit later. I think there were more interesting things that were happening later. I got there early with my intern, Tyler. All right, now to something more serious. Granted, I do a lot of pop culture stuff, but I also want to make sure that we highlight, serious things that are going on in the world, not just the city. This was the People's Assembly, who are fighting for the poor and underemployed. This was a field trip that I went along with my students to capture, because, excuse me, I I know that the poor needs are very much overlooked. People think it's like, oh, you're just lazy, like you don't work hard enough. That's not the case. Increase minimum wage to the cost of living. That's my 2 cents on it. And just understand, like, inflation is high. Nobody can really afford anything. If you are a business owner and you're able to pay your employees more, do it. Because it's hard out here. People are working themselves to death. And it may be for longer, because I think there's even talks of like raising the retirement age, and that's just heartbreaking. This was at a church. There was a lot of interesting ways to shoot this. They did have an upper deck, so I was able to go up there and shoot from below. I wanted to highlight the messages here because the signs do say a lot. They were really working hard to make sure that someone like Trump wasn't in office, and I feel so bad. Because the energy in this room, it did feel like hope. It didn't feel performative. I always have mixed feelings when it comes to rallying and protests, because like it does feel like, okay, we're just marching, but what will come out of it? What will happen next? I feel like they did have a plan of like, just they were working to get people into the polls, but I feel like the People's Campaign, I don't know much of like their activities outside of DMV. DC is a very liberal city, so I feel like this was a message that needed to be heard and seen in conservative states, if that makes sense. But hearing people's stories, and then I wanted to like get the view from the pew, and it was a pretty big turnout. I wasn't expecting this many people, but I was surprised at the turnout. Just to capture her prayer hands like in the church just felt right. And I think we marched to the Wilson building. But yeah, this was I also encourage, like, if you're an educator, if you know of any activism or a activist group, get your students involved. Let them go to a march, go to things like that, you know? And then back to another convention. I try to make it a tradition in my journalism program to take my students to this, because as I said before with MagFest, there's so many opportunities for our students to grow, network. Because majority of my kids, or the kids that like do the after school program, are nerds. Anime, comic books, whatever, like that's their sort of thing. And to give them the ability to go and see like other people like them and involved in their interest, or to meet celebrities, just see people dressed up as their favorite character, to meet these other artists, these other entrepreneurs. It's pretty amazing. So there's, and shout out to Anime Sunday. He interviewed one of my students. There's Juju, part of the esports team. So I made sure that he had the opportunity to play a game. And also you get to learn more about the students' interests. Like, I didn't know that they would take to crocheting and knitting. There's my students like recording and interviewing Anime Sunday. I really enjoyed this shot, because shout out to Greg, who is the creator of the Tuskegee Airs. It is a great comic book series. Please make sure that you get it. This is a family that cosplayed as the characters that he created, and be able to capture that genuine reaction, his smile, like, that is very precious. And I got to interview him there. This is Travel, Train, Teach. They are a martial arts school. They teach Muay Thai. They're out in College Park, Maryland. This is right here. This is Nick. He is an alumni friendship. I I would say they were doing a demonstration there. There's an entrepreneur, another entrepreneur. Great. I actually have this shirt. I have her stuff. So it's just like she has some really amazing stuff. I'm not even sure what this booth was about. Were they selling stuff or were they like making? I can't remember, but it looked cool. I gotta get their contact because I want their bonnets. See how many like Black entrepreneurs that I'm bumping into, and then like I said, always like getting the entrepreneurs surrounded by their stuff because like look how cool that looks. So this is more travel train teach. They're doing a demonstration at AwesomeCon and they're tearing it up. And then of course there's Ro and Young Goku. They're having the most fun. I think this was like a kids dance party, I think. But they're just like, that's adorable. There are my two students. They're taking pictures, photographing the cosplayer. This is where they had to step out their comfort zone and actually have to like interact with people and ask for permission and things like that. Because I told them like we didn't get press passes for them because I think they were a little bit too late. But I did tell them like, yo, if our program is paying for these passes, you gotta write a story. You know what I mean? So that was the trade-off. So yeah, also time at AwesomeCon. Most likely I'll be back there as well. All right, Emancipation Day. Their concerts are always great. I love going to these. There goes Sugar Bear in EU. I just like, I was shooting from the crowd. So like you're gonna kind of see this and me trying to work it, but I think I got some really great shots. I do like the sun rays, like that glare coming through and just kind of getting the crowd. I wish the crowd was like kind of doing more. They're the hosts. Kelly Price looks great. She did her thing on that stage. Like, look. Gorgeous. Hear the power. You can hear it's almost like you go back, you can hear the power in her voice. Honestly. You really can. Can't remember what this is. But there's so many great performers and just like working with the spotlight and how like that light is tracing them. Like, look at this. This is Black Alley Band. Like, look how owning the stage. I know there's DJ Thriller. Genuine. DMV's own Genuine. Wait, is he from DC? I think Genuine is from DC. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. He still looks great. Same energetic him having too much fun with that t-shirt cannon. And that was really good for me to just to be there and just capture a moment because there's so many fun, free things that happen in the district that just needs to be promoted more, honestly, because people were vibing to it. I had my mom with me. She was having a good time. But the interesting thing about this event is because me going there, I bumped into a great person, Dior Ashley Brown. And she asked me if I was going to the National Cannabis Festival. I had put in a press pass request. I got denied. And she was like, "Oh, no worries. Like, I'll just add you to the list because I think at this point, I think I've interviewed her for my show on Neon Mike. I had my students go to her DC Music Summit program. I met her through my classmate, Dejan, and we ever since that that first meeting, I've always stayed in touch with her. I always celebrated her. I always promote what she's doing because she is about the youth. She is about empowering people through music, and she's really about like connecting individuals. So she told me like she'll put me on the list as one of like her people's photographer. And that kind of, not kind of, like it led to one of like the biggest highlight of 24 for me, or one of the biggest moments in 2024. I have never been backstage to any event. Always, like, if it's a music thing, I'm always shooting from the crowd. So to be in a different space where I'm backstage in the same airspace as rap legends was so trippy to me. And I felt the most pressure to get the best shots because it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to photograph Wu-Tang and Redman. Like one of the, like, you know what I mean? So as a photographer, you already have some sense of anxiety because you're just working off like this very, very small screen, right? And you're trying to look to make sure like things are focused on where it needs to be. Like the subject is focused, is not something else. To make sure things are properly exposed, and you know what I mean. Like it's just like you want to be able to capture this iconic moment. Again, thank you so much to you, Dior Ashley Brown. This meant so much to me, and the fact that she saw my talents and put me in this space really meant a lot to me. So this is, oh, I can't scroll, but first, another thing that I also learned when like covering concerts, bring earplugs. I'm pretty sure I have damaged my ears because I was very close to the speakers from like sitting in like at the very front. Like there's front row and then there's like the photographer's pit. After that, I invested in some earplugs because I know, like, my hearing was messed up for a week and some change. Was it worth it? I say yes. So this is Young DB, ODB son, and what I really like capturing musicians is because it almost feels like a very spiritual, religious moment when they perform. Like you see him, like it's almost like he's reaching up to his dad at that moment, and I was like, that's really cool. And here's Redman and Method Man doing their set. I was a little bit nervous because like at this time I had my macro lens, my 2.8 lens, but it's only, hold on, hold on, just show you guys real quick. So this is like the lens I have. This 2.8, and it's really good in low light, but it doesn't zoom in. It is a fixed lens at 24. Yeah, 24 millimeters. So I cannot zoom in. I could only get physically close. Their security would not let you go past like the backstage. And they wasn't playing, and I do not want to be yelled at security. So I stayed with this lens. This is an 18 to 150 millimeter lens. The lowest f-stop, I think, is maybe like 3.5. Yeah, so to be able, like, having to zoom in, and when you zoom in, you have to bump up your shutter speed so that, you know, things are in focus. So that part, it was a challenge. And even though that Wu-Tang is a group of older gentlemen, they still move. They're still moving. So there's that. So I hate digital noise so much. So I tried to cover some of those situations up with like black and white. And also, like, what I had to let go was this notion that everything had to be like perfectly well lit all around, and just kind of experiment with the spotlight and the way that it is hitting you, God, and Ghostface Killer here. Like I said, this feels very spiritual. You see that these men are at peace, which, if you watch the Wu-Tang series, I mean, you get to see why, you don't mess with Wu-Tang, but just to kind of see them in this like relaxed moment, like they feel that they're home, that they are grateful to be there, and just to be around their fans. And this is Young DB immersed in the in the crowd with the yellow light. Hold on, let me go back to it. With the yellow light. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Hold on. We're gonna get this right. Okay, let me go back. So to see like Young DB in the crowd, in the yellow light at this moment, just like in the zone, that was dope. And again, just playing with the light. You seeing the fans' hands, like it's just that yellow spotlight right there with the Wu-Tang symbol. Like, that's fire. And then to be that close right under Method Man with the purple light and that famous light. The face that he makes, that little, because he tries to ugly himself up, even though this man is handsome, whatever. But to be that close to Method Man is insane. Again, playing with black and white, I was like, the digital noise pisses me off so much. I'm gonna try to study and learn more about the updates with Lightroom so that I could better get rid of it, because when you're in low light situations, sometimes you have no choice but to bump up your ISO. The consequences, digital noise. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of like that. And again, I just like the way the light is hitting you, God. Look, this is Killer B. I think this is Killer B. If it's not Killer B, let me know in the comments. Just red men in red light. Red men in red light is just cool to me. And then of course I have to get some of them in with the Woo symbol. I have to get that. And then this is Dior Ashley Brown's band. She is an outstanding performer. Her band is great. And then when I do photograph causes, I want to make sure like we at least get everybody in the group. If we can't do because they're kind of spread out, so it's hard to do a group shot. So I try to get like individual, because they are amazing, talented musicians, and they deserve to be seen. And just look at her, just eating it. Like, her outfits are always great. The energy that she emotes while on stage is just great. They'll try to get like some backstage stuff, But yeah, I just want to make sure every member of the band is represented, because they contribute to such great sound. And of course, I did want to highlight some of the organizations and businesses that were at the National Cannabis Festival. Seeing like how far marijuana has come, from being just the fast way to imprison Black and brown people, and now to see Black and brown people turn this into a full industry and like creating jobs. It's just really cool to see. So I don't want people to think like, oh, it's just like dope heads or stoners getting high or whatever. Like, it is a political issue. It is a movement that we have to pay attention to. I always like try to capture people trying to record or capture a moment. That's one of my one of the shots I like to have in my role. And then they have wrestling there. I've never photographed wrestling. I'm a follow. I think it's C3W. Yes, I was right. Oh, my memory's pretty good. C3W wrestling organization. I managed to get some shots of one of their matches. The next time they have like a show in the DMV, I want to go to it and photograph it, because that was fun. My only challenge is like, again, with the ropes, because they will get in the way and like steal the focus. But this turned out like pretty cool. And of course we have Robert White there. just kind of like speaking on the movement itself, and then more performers. Like, everybody was cool. Everybody, again, such amazing talent. It's always great to see a lot of these businesses pop up and flourish. This will be forever. My hearing and that sucks because I am a podcaster, may not be 100%, but I will be prepared for next time, and I will try again, to request a press pass, and I will show them these photos because it's like I feel like I did a really good job with the equipment that I had at the time, and this time around I will be prepared because I did buy a 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8 f-stop lens. So, okay, let me go ahead and move on to the next one. Scoot. So after this concert, I realized, okay, I have to invest in good glass. And to be from a photographer perspective, that is a hard decision because good glass is expensive. Sometimes it could cost even more than your camera itself. But if you're going to the space or going into these spaces, it's something that you have to do. If you are going into photography as either a professional or a hobbyist, know that it's going to cost money. There are 2 shops in DC that I go to, Pro Photo and District Camera and Imaging. Also let my students know as well. I tell them to, you can ask these questions to see like what's a good starter camera. You don't have to break out the buku bucks off rip. See what's the best camera for what's in your price range. And then once you start booking these things, booking these events and getting paid, then you can level up. I also know some professional photographers that work at camera shops and they are allowed to use the equipment that's there. So that's just like an option to consider because, like I said, photography it's expensive, and it sucks because it does box out a lot of amazing Black talent that we have. Because I know, like, I work with some young talented Black photographers, and I'm very grateful that as their teacher, I could give them access to this equipment and just kind of I'm sorry, my phone was slipping out. But just give them the opportunity to practice this craft and get a feel for it. Either like, no, this isn't a thing for me, or like, yes, I want to pursue this. So one of my goals for this year is to see, because I do have some talented photographers that are graduating this year, if it's possible to get them their own camera. Not to pass along some of the equipment we already have because we need to use that for the next class, but if I can get them their own camera that they could use, because some parents have even made inquiries about what camera to get their child, but it's not like the simple little point and shoot Jones that you could get at Best Buy. You would either have to look into refurbish or a trade-in, or something, because it costs. But one of my goals is, like, for those that are like graduating seniors and have been the most dedicated photographers, is so they graduate with a camera so they can continue to pursue this, whether they major in college, or because talking with a few of them, they said they want to major in business and know the business side of it and have their own photography enterprise. And I was like, work. So just kind of putting that out there. I don't know if I have to do a GoFundMe, or if you know of any grants that would help with this quest, that'd be great. And you can post it in the comments. But like I said, and so I'm gonna just show, because I know I went on a bit of a tangent. I invested in this lens right here. So I was like, I want to cover more concerts. I want to go to more shows, and I want to make sure that um that I'm on the same competitive edge as some of these other photographers that I see, with a similar lens. I will say this, just FYI, Canon. I don't think Canon is really connecting with third party lenses like that. But I know Sony is. I have worked with mirrorless Sony because that's what we have in my journalism program, and working with a Sigma lens. That Sigma lens. Ooh wee. So I understand the importance of having good glass, and I wanted to have this. So the next set is my first time working with this lens, and this was at the Go-Go on top of MLK Library. If you're not from DC or you haven't had a chance to go, that rooftop looks absolutely amazing. And my mother and I, we went kind of late, so we missed some of the earlier acts. But this is what you get with the list. Like, you see that blowout in the back, like you see that blur. Boom! It's just like solely focused on her. Same energy, shooting through the crowd, trying to get a good spot. I try to get like everybody that's performing. Black Alley Band, back at it again. I just like this shot. Try to capture somebody capturing something. Just gorgeous. But the only drawback is like, I don't want to have to keep switching lenses because it's kind of hard to do like when you're in a crowd of people. So I was trying to capture, the crowd's excitement and their energy, kind of, sort of, a little bit, but also wasn't feeling 100% for some reason. Like, I felt, unwell after a few minutes, but that's what I had. But like, after doing the practice run with this lens at this event, like, I knew like I made a solid investment. So, Poor People's Campaign, again, they are down at the Capitol. I took my students again to do a story on it, and I think this was in the summer, so this was during our SYP program. I just love the shot of her in front of the Capitol. Like, I don't know why hold on, because I really want y'all to, like, you see this, you see how powerful that is? I wish I would have you can't control people in the shot, so I wish I was framed it a little bit differently, but you get the point. Always get the signs. I just like the flag, just floating, the sun hitting it. I think it's one of the leaders of the Poor People's Campaign. And just to get a sign, because it's like, just look at that number. Over 50 million people are earning less than a living wage. And the government still gives billions of dollars to foreign countries. You gave billions of dollars to genocide. That's what I said. Like, again, another great turnout. There was a lot of people there. There was a lot of amazing people to talk to. Just one of my students, Faith. I'm so proud of Faith because she's been in my class like 2-3 years, I believe. And the way that she stepped outside her comfort zone and was willing to interview people was great. Like, this was and again, like I said, if you're able to take your students to this type of thing and witness the power and numbers and powers in the movement. I just wish like we won the election. That's it. But it was just like, it was still great energy. I feel like it gave a lot of hope. Just to represent like different people, different organizations that were present. And then, even Faith got to interview Roland Martin. Like, that's pretty cool. BlurredCon. BlurredCon, I feel like it was this is my second time at BlurredCon, and I had a great time. I also was live streaming and I was doing a bunch of interviews, even on my own on here. I realized I can't really do both. What I need to do is kind of like plan it out better. So like I have a day to live stream under Blurred Station and like a day to just like take pictures. Because trying to do like multiple things in one day, that's not the tea. This is Cleo Thomas. His podcast, How to Nerd, was present there, and they also did a screening of Vigilante. And again, this is me. I'm using the my 70 to 200 millimeter lens, the 2.8 f-stop, and they also had great lighting, so that helped. And then this was where the live stream was. This is a really cool setup. Love a Bayonetta. And what I really love about BlurredCon, like, it's people of all nerds, black nerds of all ages, all together having a great time. Like, there's a DJ everywhere. Thought Squad. Oh my gosh, she's just like great energy. Great energy. Oh, okay, hold on, it's back. This is like the whole Blurred Station setup that we have for our live stream. It was like pretty cool. It got lots of attention. Funny story, it was like some people weren't able to make it in their time slots. So I was originally signed up to do one interview on the live stream, and they was just like, yo, if you want to interview somebody or you want to come back and do as many interviews you want, you can. I was like, bet. And I pulled Winter, and then I also pulled Lace with Cherry to do those interviews. And eventually soon all the interviews that I did at the Blur Station, like I'm gonna add it to my website. I was thinking about like doing some special editing to them, but I was just like, there's so many other things I'm doing. I'm gonna just put it up there. It's gonna be up there soon. There's Liz again, and this is with Sir Julius. In their One Piece cosplay. This is very cool. Okay, so here's the other lazy thing about me. And this is why like I can't do too much. Like I have to set a day to do photography, and then I have to set a day to do the live stream, because like at one point, like I wasn't last night I was not staying at the same hotel. I was staying at the hotel across the street. This year I am staying at the same hotel. I'm just carrying the 24 2.8 lens, because I feel like this could have been so much better and so much cleaner, because like a lot of digital noise, but she still looked great though. Again, this was good. Urban Force. They do great sword fighting. I saw them at like the Villains Ball, at Plus Ultra's Villains Ball, and they did a demonstration. It was pretty cool. I just really love this couple. There's something about this couple's energy that just like keep me like looking at them. And their Thought Squad again, hilarious. The DMV Anime Club. Make sure you sign up for that. I'm sorry, I said DMV. It's DC Anime Club. If you haven't signed up, if you wish to be a part with like fellow blurs that love anime, make sure you sign up. Loved it. Loved it. How to Nerd podcast. They really did their thing. I hope they come back. I hope they come back to BlurredCon in March, because this was really fun to watch. It really was. Okay. Ooh. All right. So like I said, we always want to have students involved in activism, and gun violence is something that is very prominent in our community, and we want to do more to help end it. Like I said, I have mixed feelings when it comes to marches. It's like, okay, we're bringing awareness to the issues. We're showing that the kids, as well as like the adults, are tired of it. But I feel like more has been done. Like, unfortunately, over the holiday, we lost a friendship alumni, Carmelo Green. And I think it was like somebody from my year that may have been. I have to look into that, but it's just we have lost like too many nights to gun violence. one is too many. And I think more should be done about it. But I did like this event. They made it like a whole outing. We marched. We had fun on the field. Um, getting ice cream and fun funnel cakes. The students made signs, little camera shot. The police were there, and then there's Dr. Richardson. He's an ASC commissioner. I forgot his district area number, but he's like very involved. There's Miracle. Oh, Juju was tired. Juju. I think we should probably just do more marches. Maybe in the spring. I think the summer is just too much for some of the scholars. Always get the shirts and the signs. I was a reverend giving a prayer beforehand. I think she's the deputy mayor. But yeah, I mean the students had fun that had fun. But like I said, I think we have to go into the next steps and the next stages when it comes to this thing because I think way more has to be done. What it is, I'm not sure yet. The 30th anniversary of Otakon. So this was my return to Otakon. I haven't gone in a number of years. But I was just like, you know what? Let me go. Let me get my press pass. Let me go and let me get some stuff in. You know what I mean? So they had their 30th anniversary exhibit. And then of course Flo performed. So I got some really great pictures. Mercury side duck is just hilarious to me. But I definitely wanted to capture the exhibits for like 30 years as a convention is very impressive. Look at that. Also, sorry, like usually I would do landscape because that's always been our format for our journalism program. But I was just like, let me play around with portrait. And don't let my students see it because the main thing is like, well, you can do portrait. Well, our format is different, sir. And ma'am. Scholar. Oh, the Maid Cafe. This is my first time going to a Maid Cafe and I absolutely loved it. Even though I was pressed, they were nice enough to give me this big piece of chocolate cake. So I will make sure next year. Well, not next year. This coming summer, I'm getting my Maid Cafe ticket. Get it in advance because you try to do like a walk-in, it's like a slim chance that you'll be able to get in. It's very, very popular. You'll be very much entertained. I think we should do a Maid Cafe at our school for a fundraiser. But look, like you get to watch performances, you get to play games. The maids are host to your table. Not only are they serving you your cake and your tea or any other dessert, they're also making sure that you have a great time. I did love the Flow concert. That was like really, really cool. Look at that. Just the small hand bit, hilarious. That just sent me every time. And it's just like you see how much people are really having fun and enjoying themselves there. Hilarious. Bandel is doing like such amazing things with his manga. Make sure that you grab it. I've interviewed him for the show, and I have 2 of his manga. So please make sure that you follow him. Follow him. That's gonna be a superstar right there. Oh, it's my fan Pam. She was so excited. Like that was like so cute. He has a really great smile. He was just I just love his facial expressions. Cute. Loved getting the merchants. They had some really cool stuff. Cute. Cute. Ah, Jarrell. Sailor Moon. Sorry, that was very. It just means a lot to me. Cute. Now, I like the design, but the chainmail bras, I'm like, do y'all have cushions or something? Because I feel like that may chafe. Again, I love the different color lights that are just hitting him. Love car capture. Street Fighter. That's not the theme song. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, but Otakon was really, really dope. I'll probably go back next year. Hopefully they'll accept me. My favorite block party. I love the A Street Festival. So many great businesses, great music. This is something that my mother and I go to every year. You will always see, like, look at the vibe. Like, I love my city so much. She's just randomly playing with a puppet. I don't even think, like, that's what her booth was about. I love her hair. Now, I don't know if you can see from this, but my lens wasn't focused on him, which made me so mad. Like, it focused more so on the background. But I just like the composition of the shot. And I always like to capture the vibe. People dancing, having a good time, the crowd, like the singers. This is looking back, this is crooked. I was shooting at this a little bit crooked. So many good foods. So many good foods. But even like street performers, like if they were on stage, like they were performing like right in the street. And yeah, I'm never disappointed at a street festival. Like, it's always amazing. So if you're in the DMV area, or if you're in DC, like, come to the A Street Festival. Like, it's always in September. Look at the artists, like. And also for budding photographers, if you're just looking to build up your portfolio, like, you don't have to per se always wait to get like the exclusive press pass, because they're very competitive, and most organizations, it depends. Like, I know that conventions like AwesomeCon and like the bigger conventions, they may be more competitive. They may go for like the bigger and more well-known organizations, but you have to start building your portfolio somewhere. And like I said, there are a ton of free events that happen in the district. You just have to, follow certain pages to be in the know, like like the 202 event page, or follow like DC events or Event DC, and just see what's going on in the city. And hopefully, if you live, I don't know what it's like for, like, if you live in Maryland, Virginia, like what page you would go to, but start going to those free events and start just taking pictures, because building your portfolio, because eventually I don't want people to be tripped up like, oh, I have to have a degree in this, or oh, I have to have a certification. Your portfolio will speak louder because you're showing people what you're capable of doing. So just be mindful of that. Like, go ahead and build your Instagram page. Go ahead and just start somewhere. Don't feel like you have to be at the big events like Broccoli City, or the National Cannabis Festival. It helps if you're able to get in, but at the same time, it's like there are so many things that could happen if you just go to those places. Like me going to the Emancipation Day concert, I was able to reconnect with DeJour Ashley Brown, which led me to the National Cannabis Festival. Or like have a DJ Thriller hit me up and just thank me for getting the picture of him, because there may be a time where they may focus on other talents that don't really highlight the DJ as much. So take advantage of the free things that are in the district and highlight those. And then people are going to see, like, oh, because everybody's looking for a photographer. Everybody is looking for that connection, and to make sure that the person's good. So just make sure to take advantage of what's available in the city and just continue to grind and work your way up. All right. All right, so this was okay. So there's 2 nights of Art All Night on Minnesota Avenue. So the original Art All Night, I think, was like late September, but because of the weather, they had to reschedule some of the other events. So you're seeing a mixture of the 2 nights in this blog post. But again, this is something my mother and I always enjoyed. It's always fun. Look at you see them painting a mural. You see the musicians playing. I also like to get the food trucks because it's very cool that they're able to like pull up. And I really like what they did at if you're familiar with the East of the River Shopping Center, you know that Shoe City closed. And what they did was open the space up for the night to have vendors and an exhibit there and even a sip and paint. So it was really cool to get this. And then of course the musicians outside, like on the parking lot. They also had one the first night that they had all night. BlurCon hosted the event in the DC library, and I thought that was really cool. Like you can see, I think some members of Bowie, they have New Blurred Order or something to that effect. Correct me in the comments. I think they were there. This was a very wholesome moment, and even the person that's in the costume was really glad to see this photo because it was a very heartfelt moment that they felt special. Like just have to see the smile on this child's face and seeing the costume. And then of course, look, I just love capturing musicians, like when they're in the zone and when they're playing. It's definitely you see the light. And then here is Mason Burns. I had the pleasure of interviewing him on my podcast this year. And then helping out a friend, Jediah's Legacy Collection, where technically his mother runs this booth. Well, not Mason's mother, Jediah's. Unfortunately, he passed away, and the mother's keeping his memory alive through this collection. So I thought that was very interesting to learn. And this was at like the first, and they had the opportunity, like you can learn chess or sign up for a chess club, and then the other food truck. They even had like the portable game room. Always get the DJ. They're bringing the vibes. Always highlight the businesses that are there. Like this was really cool. Like you have different vendors, cosplayer there, and it's really cool for Hilton to like bring this about because conventions can be expensive, and then some families are just won't be able to take their families there. But to bring it in to my community, because I just live down the street from here, and to see that, like, that was really cool to see. There's Hilton. He didn't stay the whole night because I think he also had another setup at another library. I forgot which one, but homie was busy. Kokomo. If you grew up in DC, you know this man. He's still rapping. He's still performing. I love getting my henna. Every time like this auto night, I love getting my henna. And this is the Northeast DC Performers. You dance group. They were tearing it up. Like that's the coach right there. Like he was not afraid to like get down. Look at that power pose. Period. Upside down. Pregnant. I wish I would have cropped it a little bit more so that you don't see the young lady in the back, but you know what I mean? So it's like solely focused on her because she was eating. different wire sculptures. Like I said, there was different vendors there, different artists there. There's a sip and paint for the kids. He had the exhibit there, and then oh my god, this aerial acrobatic, like she was on it. Just seeing over it, and then loved it. Love light painting, body painting. Like it was just such a vibe at Arlo Night. If you haven't had a chance, like I felt like it was a little better because like on 8th Street when they had their Arlo Night, I felt a little disappointed because it was like more of the same thing, like interactive art and yeah. But I felt like here it was way more variety of different things that you could do. So yeah, that's really cool. Are we almost done? I did a lot. I really looking back at this, like I really did a lot. And oh, this was like really cool. So I'm in a group chat with Demetrius Holt, aka Hellspot, and he shared a post like they were doing a screening at the at Howard University for the first episode of Cross. If you haven't had a chance to check out the series, it's very good. It's really dope. So you had Eldridge Hodge there and Ben Watkins, who is the the showrunner and of course like the star of the series, to do a Q&A panel afterwards. So it's like this is my first time going to a screening. I never went to a screening, and even though it was like on a school night, I was just like, well, if I take an Uber to Howard, it's not like that far out the way. And we had, I think it was SAT testing, but I ended up with just like one scholar. Sometimes you have like you could proctor for like a whole class, and then sometimes they have you proctor for some students that may require one-on-one attention, if that makes sense. So I just had one student, and I don't think we were there the whole time. I think, yeah, they gave us like they threw a special little lunch barbecue. I ate, and then I was like, I'm ready to go, because I wanted to, even though like I secured my ticket, I secured my pass to go. But I wanted, it's kind of like first come first serve, because seats can fill up, and I want to make sure that I had a good spot. So I showed up early, and I'm really glad that I went. So thank you, Demetrius, for putting me on. But it was really cool to see panel, and like Hodge is a really amazing person. He's a very sweet guy. Like look at that smile. Like he was amazing at the discussion at the panel. He was, even afterwards, he's taking pictures with fans. That's Ben Watkins. Look at that. He has a really great smile. And then Eldridge Hodge, and that's Demetrius. Like, so again, I can't thank you enough for like giving me that opportunity, because it's like this is my very first screening, and yeah, I just thought I really had a great time. I also wanted to do an interview, but it seems like that wasn't the right place and time to do that. So because like there was so many people that wanted to take pictures, and I didn't want to ruin it. I didn't want to so I got my great shots, and this was pretty dope. I didn't get that many because like it was a lot of moving pieces, but I still had a great time. All right, so remember I mentioned travel, train, teach. So it's amazing the 6 point of connections that you have in the DMV. So remember I mentioned Nicholas, who's a friendship alumni. He's part of Travel, Train, Teach. One of the other people that I've interviewed right before this, Tavon Anthony, aka Anoxis, who works with Create Lady J. He mentioned on my show that he was doing a fight, like at an exhibition, and I was like, I never photographed a fight before. So let me just, I was like, I'll go. It was like 30 minutes away. So I went, and these are the pictures that I got. So this is pretty cool. This is one of the coaches like training. That's the group shot. That's like the whole team, and they were phenomenal. Like they were really crushing. It's not like a competition. It's more like an exhibition where you could level up. But I was very impressed with their team. There's Nick right there. He couldn't compete because he was injured. So I'm hoping for a speedy recovery, Nick. Hope that you're doing better, because I would like to actually see you, fight one time for the one time. But it was really cool. My sister's a martial artist, so I know certain things from her and watching her a little bit, and I really wanted her. Well, eventually, I don't know if she's gonna like ever compete, but if she does, like I will take pictures, big sis. But it was really cool to capture because, like I said, I want to venture and try to photograph things like I never photographed before. And yes, I am working with my 70 to 200 millimeter telephoto lens with 2.8 f-stop. I would say even pretty well lit in the gym, but remember, like even for fluorescent lighting, it still is not as powerful as the sun. So having a lower f-stop is always going to benefit you. Now the trick is to make sure that what you're photographing is in focus. So that was like my hurdle. Also, like me carrying this big lens for like a couple hours, my wrist was feeling it the next day. So I may have to lift some weights and help straighten these spaghetti arms. But I wish I would have like cropped that so I wouldn't get the referee. But like I said, all amazing fighters look at their strikes. Like you could feel that through the screen. Poor thing, like her nose, she got bumped in the nose and it was bleeding. It was bleeding pretty profusely. Like they had to stop the match. But when she was in it, she was like kind of going for it. Imagine getting hit by that giant leg. I would have tapped out. I want to make sure like I didn't just get kicks, like I got like grappling, punching. So this is Nick, and this the other coaches, and that's Tavon. He used a lot of my stuff too for his page, and that makes me happy because, like I said, I did have some reservations with my photography, or like had some self-doubt because like I'm self-taught and I mostly just did it for my students. But to get that affirmation or appreciation for my work, because Triple T loved it, Tavon loved it, which is really cool. So like I do appreciate that shout out, and it just lets me know that I'm I'm on, like I'm supposed to be doing this. I also like to get the behind the scenes stuff, like when they're like setting up and things like that. They tell me just hyperactive, just going for it. But it was really cool to photograph them. And I had fun. I think Create Lady J, she's supposed to be fighting soon. So send me the date and time, girl. I'm there. And so this is like the last one of the year. Hilton, who is the owner of BlurCon, has a partnership with the Phillips Collection to do the Creative Seedlings events at the Arc at the Black Box Theater. And it is a program where you would have artists just to have these talks related to their art form. So if you ever watch Black Panther, the actor that played T'Challa's father, I'm concentrating so hard to make sure I pronounce this correctly. I'm gonna say his last name, Kenny. If I pronounce that wrong, please let me know. And I am so sorry to this man because he is very, very nice and entertaining and was just fun to photograph. So again, I apologize if I mispronounced your name, but it was really cool because I just went in just to capture it because it's a free event that you can sign up for. It's a nice evening of just having these amazing discussions and to really just to be in this space. Like, it was a really dope panel Q&A. And again, I just love the color divide here. This is one of my favorite shots because, as you can see, it's orange where you would see Hilton and Mr. Canning. And then you have like the audience that's like in purple. I'm working with my 2.8 lens because, one, I did not want my wrist to hurt, and two, like I had to get close and I had room to like be close and in the front. And like I said, I always like to capture the sign because, as I said, this is in partnership with BlurCon and the Phillips collection. Get the hug, photo ops with the fans, and as you can see, Mr. Canyon is a character. There he is with DJ Senpai, and then of course with the 3 Black Geeks. Shout outs to them. I really love this. That was cute. That was very heartwarming. And then you have like the Q&A panel. Her outfit was cute, from the knitted hat to the Black Panther shirt, and I think that was that leather skirt. She ate that. I'm sorry. I just like a cute outfit. And look at these young folks. Like, look how happy they were. I think they're all college students. They may be I think it was like, I know Bowie students were there because I see them at BlurCon. I follow a couple of them. But this is really cool that they, get to experience this. And then, of course, the food. Hilton knows where to get the good food. You will not starve at a Hilton event. It's no hors d'oeuvres, it's no saucers, it's full plates. To-go plates. Like, I was good. I was hungry at the end. I was able to give me a plate, eat me a little something, and I was good. So, yeah, that's my wrap up for this year. Again, you can follow all of my work. All of this is on my photo blog on my website, newwarneonvibes.org. We also have, let me just showcase this like really quickly, because again, my goal is I do want to pay my contributors, and I do want to get them equipment that they could use for my publication as well for their studies. I do have some merch that you guys can get to help support the publication, because that means a lot. We have shirts, mugs, rugs, bags, magnets, water bottles, notebooks, glasses, virtual road rage. I may bring that back. I'm not sure. But we have a lot that's going on here, and there's some more to come. Blur's a Reason has started back up. Neon Mike will be a continuous thing. The Eagles Perch will be coming soon. I also do NNV Investigates. So once I have that, fully up and running, I'll figure out where to put it on this page. But there's so many things that I got to do this year, just because of my photography skills. And I am very appreciative to everybody that helped me get access to those opportunities and made this year very memorable. And it lets me know that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. You always have that inner saboteur. It's like, am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? And like, am I wasting my time? And just to hear people thank me for the photos and just showing appreciation for my work really means a lot. And I want to thank you all for those that were able to tune in. Don't worry if you weren't, because it'll be on my YouTube channel. But I'm just so grateful of everything photography has brought me, and I'm excited to see what's coming next. Make sure that if you don't already follow me, make sure that you follow me on my Instagram. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. if it's still around, I'm on there as well. So make sure you follow me at Noir Neon Vibes on all platforms. You type it in and I will pop up. But thank you so much for spending this time with me. It really means a lot, and I am forever grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to see what 2025 brings. I'll catch you guys next time.